I told my strict Christian parents I didn't drink, but I actually had one beer. I lied to my parents about drinking, and now I feel like I've committed a sin against humanity. My parents are extremely religious, and one tiny mistake has me replaying it in my head all week. One beer, one lie, and suddenly, I'm the villain in my own family. I just wanted to experience a little independence, but my parents might never forgive me. So I am 22 years old and grew up in a very strict Christian household. Everything in my life was controlled by my parents' beliefs. Dating was strictly forbidden, swearing was a serious offense, and even movies above a PG rating were considered sinful. My parents are genuinely good and loving people, but their faith sometimes borders on extreme. Even small mistakes in their eyes feel like monumental moral failures. I now live about an hour away from home while attending college. Last weekend, my roommate and I decided to go out for a casual dinner at a local burger joint. I thought I'd try a beer for the first time in a social setting, just one. I did not even finish it because I realized I didn't like it. It was harmless, and in my mind, it was a tiny way of experiencing a little independence without hurting anyone. The next morning, my mom called. Somehow, she already had a feeling something had happened. She asked me directly if I had been drinking. My heart sank. I panicked. I knew telling the truth would send her into a spiral of worry and guilt, and she might cry or accuse me of slipping away from God. In that instant, I lied. I said no. She continued talking, telling me she felt something in her spirit and just wanted to make sure I was staying on the right path. Since that phone call, I have felt completely torn. On one hand, I know I lied. On the other, the lie felt like a tiny act of self-preservation. I have replayed the conversation in my head over and over. I feel like I committed some enormous moral failing, but in reality, it was one beer that I did not even finish. Part of me wants to confess to my parents and face their reaction honestly, but another part of me is terrified of the emotional fallout. I can almost picture my mom crying, telling me she has failed as a parent, or my dad lecturing me for hours about temptation and sin. I feel trapped between wanting to be honest and wanting to avoid unnecessary drama. Was I wrong for lying about having one beer to my strict Christian parents, even though it was just a tiny, harmless decision on my part?